What's up? What's up?
What's up?
All right, everybody. So we're here with another James Massey live interview where we interview some agents that's killing it within their area in order to provide tremendous value for the real estate agent that's looking to grow or build. Right now, I'm here with Mona. Mona is one of my partners in Canada, and she is freaking crushing it, you all. Mona, say hey and tell everybody a little bit about who you are.
Sure. Thank you. Well, first of all, thanks for having me here, James. It's always a pleasure. It was so funny because we can just talk for hours. You and I, we have so much to just share, and I love picking your brain. You are amazing. I'm so grateful to be partnered up with someone like you. Your wealth of knowledge is great. So thank you for having me here. A little bit about myself. I've been in real estate for about 3 years. Kind of started when the global pandemic happened, and I just naturally gravitated towards agent attraction. I love it. I don't know what to say. I'd rather do that than open up lock boxes. So yeah, so I do agent attraction. I love to build and manage teams. That's my forte. I enjoy it, and I just really love to help people. Like I really think that a lot of people kind of misunderstand what EXP is all about. And it really truly is about changing and improving people's lives. If anybody really looks at the model in a way where it can serve you, I guarantee you it will solve your problems. It doesn't matter what brokerage you're at, what you're doing, I guarantee you it will solve your problems. And I think when you come from a level of care and contribution and you are providing someone an opportunity, I think that's when, it just clicks and it makes sense. You're giving someone a gift, just like how I was given a gift, right? So yeah, that's Mona.
I love it, love it. So all right, so Mona, I know me and you talked before, and you told me that you were a brand new agent and
Mhm.
getting right into the business, and you gravitated right towards agent attraction immediately. And it's so many other people, they come in, they brand new, and they're reluctant to start talking to somebody about the opportunity that we have here, because they're saying, they think because they haven't had sales
Mhm.
that nobody's going to want to come to the company based upon their word. What were some of the things that, like, the limited beliefs that you might have had to get rid of in order to start that journey and build an organization that you got right now?
That's a great question. Really good question. Honestly, I didn't have any limited beliefs because I wasn't in the market, right? I wasn't in the industry long enough. I'm not sure, but what I did realize is that a lot of realtors have a lot of limited beliefs. They are very focused on their day to day, and they don't really look at the bigger picture. And when I started to realize that this model allows a lot of time freedom, and it allows like systems and tools that you can set up and enjoy, I thought, well, it doesn't really matter, what industry you're in. Like that's something that we all strive for, right? Like we all want to have, time freedom. We want to have financial freedom. We want to enjoy as much time as we can with our families or whoever your loved ones are. And I felt that when I was speaking to a lot of realtors, in Canada, I'll be honest. So in Canada, there wasn't, when we joined April 2020, not a lot of people knew what EXP was. It was like, what? What's that stand for? Like, what is that? EXP, right? It was a lot of that. Now, fast forward to today, 2022, almost at the end of the year, a lot of people know what EXP is, but their limited beliefs on who to align with, who to join with, and who's the right team, who's going to serve me the best. That's now what we are facing with challenges. But truly, like the there are a lot of realtors, I think, once they see the model and they really understand it, which does not happen immediately. I think it takes a lot of time, a lot of nurturing and following up with them. They eventually come around and they realize that, yeah, you're right, this does work. I mean, we have free CRM systems. As you know, I coach and train on Tuesdays for KV Core. And I mean, this nurturing CRM system is so amazing for your current leads and your previous leads. but more importantly, it also lead generates. And what I've noticed is a lot of CRMs do not lead generate. You have to have another system to do that. So the fact that it can do all that, and I can also use it for agent attraction. I know some people use some other CRMs. I won't, mention names, but I try to do interviews with them, and I said, try to sell me on your CRM. Like, tell me why it's better. I will buy it. Like, I don't care. Just tell me. But nobody could do it. Like, there wasn't really something that someone could say. Like, I'd rather have all my information in one CRM. I like to shoot off to my agents a lot of free content and training and coaching that we do, but I also like to share with my realtors any listings that any of my current organization has. Like, I like to shoot that off to not only my organization, but I like to also shoot that text and email off to all the other agents as well too, because I want them to know that that's what I do. I also promote other realtors in my organization. I promote their listings, right? And people enjoy that. People like that, and they appreciate that, and they think that, wow, if I was to join with Mona, she would also help me, and she would also promote me, and she will also, not be a competitor. She will be actually my partner, and she'll be aligned with me and support me. And I think that's where a lot of confusion comes, because people don't understand that part of EXP. But in terms of limited beliefs, I think that one thing I had to overcome personally was just because I didn't know the industry, I should have just not let that lack of confidence get to me, right? I should just, it doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, like, real estate is sales, and sales is sales. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, right? And I've always been in sales my whole life. So if you know how to sell something, you'll be able to sell anything, to be honest with you, right? It's all about finding out what their pain points are. Like, what is it that they're struggling with? What's their problem? And then, of course, we have the solutions, because we just do. That's the best part.
I heard somebody say before, like, money follows people that know how to solve problems. And really, that's what you're saying right now. You're talking to people, you're finding out what it is that they're having problems with, and you're solving that problem, whether it's be through a CRM that's going to help them, or lead generation, or helping them to actually promote their listings. Like, you're just helping people solve the problems that they have in their regular life, and because that, you're building your organization, right?
Correct. Yeah, 100%. And again, it just comes from like being authentic and just really truly seeing like what is their business plans, what are their goals, where do they want to be. And usually people who entertain the conversation, it's because they're struggling with something and they're not happy with it. Because someone who's happy and doing really well, they probably won't talk to you longer than 2 to 3 minutes, because they're going to be like, who are you? Leave me alone, I'm fine, and that's fine, right? But guess what? Then they go on a nurture campaign, right? So then I start to invite them to like our event that we just did on Tuesday, which,
Yeah,
by the way, was great. Oh my goodness, James, we got to fly you in for these events. Oh my goodness, this event was so great. Can I talk about it for a minute?
absolutely.
Okay, so I'm just so excited because I'm so proud of all of us. We did such a great job. Business partners, Rick Dillon and Pascal, we organized this amazing event along with some of our other top producing agents. And we had a great lineup of speakers. Over 300 realtors in the GTA came to this event on Tuesday. It was packed. Everybody brought fire. It was rocking. I mean, I had people leave and tell me, Mona, I learned so much in the last 3 hours than I ever did at my brokerage for 10 years. And I was like, wow, like that's a statement. Did anybody catch that on recording? Like, that was crazy, right? So yeah, it was just really good. And I think a lot of people here just want like coaching. They want support. They want someone who's doing it right to show us how they're doing it. Like, we had David Robio, he's in our organization, amazing, 26 years old, just killing it, rocking it. I don't know his stats offhand, but like, this kid is like just incredible. And the level of confidence when he was speaking was so amazing. We had Mark Harris, Mark Harris comes from such a sweet, kind, generous person. He's got such a big heart. He's helping, great communities and just doing a lot of good. And, when you hear that and you're a realtor and you're sitting back and you're looking at all these people and you're like, wow, like, it's just like one brokerage? Like, all these amazing, talented people at EXP? Like, wow, I want to be a part of this. Like, what is this culture? What is this community that you guys have built, right? So again, if you come from just being authentic and just wanting to give and just like, contribution, I think it's a beautiful thing. And it's not even really selling, to be honest with you. It's just really just be yourself and provide whatever knowledge you know and have and offer it to other people. Like, what's the point of keeping it to yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 300 agents in one location. I mean, that's huge in of itself. But I mean, that just shows that agents are looking for something different. It shows they're looking for a way to build their business in order to grow. And you're filling that void by throwing an event like that and doing it for free. And not being able to you know really take anything, but really just being a servant leader and giving to them, right? um,
100%. 100%. You're so right about that. We also had Pierre. Pierre was on there as well. He talked about his independent brokerage and, how he went from like 20 agents to 500 agents. And, a lot of broker owners that were invited were really taken back. And they thought, wow, like that's pretty incredible. If this independent broker used to have his own brokerage and he went from that to this, how can I do that? We had Derek Chan. He's amazing as well. He spoke a lot about his team and how he's just crushing it for decades now. I think when you cater to almost every type of realtor and your speaker speaks to them, either you're like veterans or you're like young guns, like whoever you are, if you speak to all of them, it really shows that this is like an incredible team, great group of leaders who just want to come from contribution.
yeah. But I mean, I know you're talking about other people, but slouch yourself, Mona. I mean, you coming in and brand new in the industry. Like, all right, so let's talk about things, right?
Sure.
So, what does your organization look like right now?
So my organization looks like 100 agents total. My front line is at, I think, 19 yesterday, I think, or today. I'm not sure if he joined yet or not. I have to double check that. Hoping for my front line to grow a little bit more. I've been really great at helping the team bring on agents as well. But I do believe in like leaders creating leaders so that they can, really understand how to do this and they can go forth and change up their game as well, right? Because everyone in their organization might run it a little bit differently. Because I was new, and I know you mentioned that I was speaking about the other realtors and talking about them, but one thing I will share with you is that when you're new and you don't know that much in real estate for the different type of markets that we've had in the past, I leverage everybody, right? Like that's what I do. Why not? I don't care. They leverage me, I leverage them, right? Like that's what this is all about. So when I talk about Pierre, people like, for example, the independent brokerage I was telling you that's going to join, I had him jump on a Zoom with Pierre, right? Who else are you going to talk to? Like this guy did it and you're in the exact same situation as him. And, Pierre, thankfully he's so amazing senior partner that he also wants to share with them too, how he did it. So it's all about like everyone working together. So when you're brand new, a lot of people think, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? But you don't have to do it yourself. Like, can't remember who says it. I think it's Jay Kinder says it, like the best inviter wins, right? Like just invite, like you got a whole group of people that you can leverage who will help you, right? And, we also started an organization with, we're called Legacy Ladies. So we're doing a women empowerment, helping women in real estate and just helping them grow. I find a lot of women, are wanting to expand their business and grow it bigger. And I think sometimes having that other woman support and empowerment can really go a long way. So we started this in Toronto. Now we're moving it to British Columbia. We're also branching it to India. So it's great. Like it's kind of going everywhere. Hopefully, we can get it in the United States as well. We're just kind of shifting everywhere right now, but we just want to bring women together and have this awareness and just kind of support one another. And it's great because in our organization, we also have a lot of men who support women empowerment, such as yourself. And we are very fortunate of that. And I think when you see that, it really provides more confidence to women, and it gives them that leap where they feel that yeah, I am equal, if not maybe more, who knows, right? So it's like, let's kind of just go with it and let's see where this is going to go. But I'm super excited. A lot of our legacy ladies showed up at the event on Tuesday, and we plan to do some more events in the coming year and just kind of build this community as much as we can.
So kind of speaking on that, I mean, I know you mentioned India and other areas. I mean, like, really what you're doing is you're taking, your current brand, which is Mona,
Mm-hmm.
and, now you're looking outside of just where you are right now. You're looking, globally, right?
Right.
I know we was talking about before about like some of the things that you're looking, or some of the people in your organization looking to do in India. Speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. This is so amazing. So, one of our realtors who just joined with us from British Columbia, she does like 6 months British Columbia, 6 months India, back and forth. Her family lives in India. She really wants to go out there and help women. She finds that a lot of the women in India are, nothing wrong with this, but, are housewives or have like very general clerical work, but they strive to do more and they want to do more. But they want something that also can balance with their family life as well. And I mean, EXP is amazing for that, right? Like, I'm a single mom of two boys, and I can balance my family life and EXP perfectly, and I love it. So she really wants to take this initiative. Her name is Kritika. She really wants to take this initiative and just really blow this up in India and help the women there. And when she was describing it to me, it was really amazing, because she said, Mona, I really want to help them, groom them, show them how to be confident women, how to dress in business, how to speak, and, what type of business you should do and who should you connect with. And her sponsor, Cindy, amazing. She does South Asian Fashion Week, and she's just incredible. She does a lot of just supporting women as well. And the two of them are going to partner up and do this in India. And I'm just here as their senior partner to guide them and direct them and whatever they need. And she says, Mona, we're going to do events. We want you to come. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll be there. Are you kidding me? That's my hometown. My family's from India. I'm like, of course I'll be there.
Yeah.
So it's so amazing what this company and this model is. Like, we were talking about this earlier too. It's not just for realtors, it's for just really, like, I mean, you have to be a realtor to be in here, I get it, but it's really just all about, there's people have a lot of problems in their lives, and if you can help solve that, if you can help do that, I've got people who are getting their real estate license because they just can't believe, what their life could look like if they had their real estate license. So, you're helping people also figuring out their career goals and where they could be in the next few years. And that's such an amazing thing. Like, where else can I do that? I can't do that anywhere. I can't do that at Remax. Come on now, right? So, not to knock Remax, but yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to an agent literally just yesterday, and they were they was at the red company. I'm not going to mention the name, but they were obviously doing pretty well. So I asked him. I said, so if you're being leveraged there, how are you able to create leverage for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're there. You're their retirement. Who's
Yeah,
your retirement?
of
You
course.
know, so at that point, he just, the wheels is going. He's thinking and things of that nature, because like everybody knows, like or they feel comfortable working at say the red company or like the Remax or whatever, but
Mhm.
they never look at it as they can actually build something or be in a system where they can build something similar, right? I mean, you
Correct.
just mentioned you got 100 people within your organization. That's a 100 person brokerage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's literally what it is, stretched out into different areas and now
Hmm.
in different countries.
100%. You're so right. And that's something that I'm really proud of. I'm really happy that I did that. I want to get to your number, James. I'm not going to lie. Okay. I want to be at that number. I think it's
You're gonna get
amazing.
there. You get there.
I'll get there. Yeah. And one thing I learned too, being in the industry, or sorry, being in, EXP for 2.5 years now, I would say, that I was kind of just, really focused on helping the team grow as well. But, I realized too that you need to put time in for yourself as well. You need to kind of grow your front line. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not being selfish. You're not, because sometimes I felt guilty, like, oh, I'm doing it for myself, and I wasn't. But I really started to go back to what I was doing the first 6 months, and I started to leverage, my sponsor, Rick Dillon, and I started to bring agents back to him again and said, I need your help with this. But, instead of agents, I'm now, focusing on independent brokerages, because I'm like, listen, if I can help realtors, I could definitely help independent brokerages. So now I'm kind of going that route, and just, they're already like leaders. They've already have something where they have, organized a system in place. And if I can make that system better, I think that's key. So my goal is always, to the broker owners, like, what is your problem? What are you having? Because they all say kind of the same three things, like, tired of coaching my realtors. They're not listening to me. I need more leads. And just how can I grow? Right. Because they need to make more money. Their, profits, when they actually do out their whole P&Ls, they actually see that, they're kind of in losses. So when you give them a better model and you kind of put out the numbers, and you say, hey, let's look at the numbers and let's do a spreadsheet comparison, what do you think? And I think that's when they get really excited, along with, of course, having Pierre and Rick with their fire in there as well. Again, leverage, right? Because they might not listen to me. I'm a girl who's only been in real estate for 3 years. Does she know what she's talking about? And when you say you have 100, team brokerage, they don't get that part, right? So I'm like, heck, I don't need to explain it. Let these guys explain it to you. I'll tell them what their problems are, and then I'll come in for the final, this is how you onboard,
Yeah.
right? So it works out. So I think now that's kind of my focus. That's my goal. Just really want to kind of get the compounding going, and get this going.
But I mean, you know how to speak their language now. You do have something of value that if you mention it to them, that they are going to listen. You got 100 people within your organization. You got 100 person brokerage. The person that you're talking to, they might have 10 people. They might have 20 people. So it's like that's a big deal, being able to do that. But more important, like you said before, they're already leaders. They're the only difference between what you're doing and what they're doing is they're just in the wrong model.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. Yeah,
So
you're so right. And I think that a lot of times, if they just hear me out on, what's happening, and what could make it better for them, because at the end of the day, all the independent brokerages, they just want to grow, right? Just like how we all want to grow, they want to grow too, right? So you're right. And I am fortunate that I can speak their language now. It took some time, and it took, that, and that's a part of my journey, right? That's what I learned along the way, how to grow that and how to feel more confident to speak to them. Because before I would be like, really, like, just scared, right? Because I didn't even know what to say. I used to be scared just to speak to a realtor who said that they had 5 years of experience, and now that level of confidence has really increased, and I'm proud of myself for that, and yeah, so it feels good. It feels really good. I enjoy what I do. I love it. Like, I'm excited. Even today, I'm going to go, after we're done here, I'm going to help onboard a team of 4 agents. They also are bringing on another additional 3, going to just help them all onboard. And, I love onboarding my agents. I got to tell you, James, I don't know if you do this or not, but I don't know, maybe I can do this because my organization is still small. I don't know. But I feel like when I onboard my agents, I give them that level of like, this trust where, I can tell them these are the things that you should plug into. This is what I think is going to really help you, because everyone's different, right? Like if I had a new realtor, I'd probably speak to like a brand new realtor differently who wants to grow, their real estate business than, a team leader who's got 4 to 5 agents on his team. Probably speak to them differently, right? And tell them where to plug in. And I think a lot of times people leave onboarding to their admins or virtual assistants, and there's nothing wrong with that, because again, I'm not there yet, right? Because maybe that is something that you do have to do in this business when you grow to a bigger number. But I feel like there's something about onboarding that you should really just truly have that inside of you to help them. You're the first impression after they just joined, right? So you want to make sure that they're plugged in, right? And I think having the touch points after that, like, the 30-day mark from the time that they join, 60 days, 90 days, and then of course here and there, like the plugins, I think are really, really important. I'm starting to believe that bringing on agents is not the hardest part. I think the hardest part in this business, in this industry, is to retain them and to keep them plugged in, especially when you are global. Sometimes, you're not able to speak to your agents in India or, in Mexico or, in New Jersey. Like it's hard, right? So how can you keep that, plug them in? And, we're grateful for, agent builders. Like it's great that we have you guys, so we can plug in our US agents into that and they can get that training, especially with Jay Kinder and everybody with their training as well. It's great that we can all just kind of plug in with the honey badgers. Like there's, you forget about that sometimes. And a lot of the realtors in Toronto, and I'll be very honest with you, like in Toronto, they're like, what's honey badgers, right? And then you're like, oh my God, you don't know? What do you mean you don't know honey badgers, right? And then it's like, well, how would they know, kind of, right? If you think about it, right? Because we're in Toronto. So you're not only just kind of talking about all the stuff that EXP offers in one, but this is the great part about us, like our like value add to our agents. It's like, dude, you get like Rick's masterclass and you get like all of NAEA and you get like, it's just like a long list of things that I think people almost feel like, wow, I'm like overwhelmed with all the stuff that I get. And then it's like, okay, let's take it down a little bit and let's see, like do it step by step. But the fact that they get all this is, come on, who else gets this, right?
Yes.
So
I think the biggest thing you said, like just kind of getting everybody plugged in. I mean, that's really where I guess the work is. Once somebody go on board, like the information is there, right? If anybody wants to grow their business, they want to take it to the next level, it's there. It's just a matter of just getting them plugged in to do the work, to get the information to do the work, so they can actually have the success. Um, so all right, so we're run up here, like last couple of minutes, right? So
okay.
all right, so for an agent that comes in and they see this opportunity we have here to build a brokerage within a brokerage, but they don't know quite how to start. What suggestions did you have?
Okay, so they don't know how to start. I would say number one, they just need to really just make a list of all the realtors that they know. I didn't have very many on my list when I came on. So I would just really scroll my social media and whoever page I liked, whoever I thought was, I don't know, good looking, I would, contact. I was like very just all about it. So I would say make a list of 100 agents, and I would, on that list, I would rank them. So if they're someone that you know very, very well and they're your good friend, I'd give them a 10. If there's someone who you maybe just did one deal with, but they were someone that I'd probably rank them at a 5. And whatever ranking you want, but I would suggest that every single day, or I don't know how many hours, like I do it every day, like this is my business, right? So someone's doing real estate and this, I'm not sure how you want to do your time block, but if you're doing this consistently, I would say every day try to bring the 5s up to the 10s. So try to, invite them to things. I would leverage everything. I would leverage NAEA. I would leverage, master classes, agent builders. Like, you guys are so great. Every Monday you're posting like, this is the training for the week. Like, I would plug into all of those. Like, big deal if they're going to get emails or text messages saying this is what's happening for the week. People like that. They're like, oh wow, who is this girl? Why she keeps sending me this stuff? Let me check this out, right? Let them check it out. But don't forget to follow up. That's what I'm going to say. But I would just do that and invite. And then I would follow up with the invite. How did you like it? I saw that you were there. What did you think of it? Tell me, what's your thought process? And then I would get them on a 3-way call, right? Like, very simple. When I went to Dallas, we were chatting with Jay in his suite upstairs with all the other realtors that were there, and we were just having open forum conversation. And he just kind of went back to the basics, and he said, just bloody put them on a 3-way call. Okay, that's it, done. 3-way call, whoever you want to do it with, whoever you feel comfortable with, just do it. And you know what? He's right. Like, that's all it is. Put them on a 3-way call, hit mute, listen very carefully on the way they're doing it, the way they're selling it, what their questions are, and then you hang up. There is a psychology behind it, right? There's a reason why I am not supposed to be that person to close them, right? There's a reason. It has to be someone else. You're the friend of the agent. So you and the agent have a friendship type of relationship. But the agent that they're speaking to on the 3-way, they have no friendship. They don't really know. It's more of just edifying who that person is. So when they speak upon, whatever their problems are, it makes sense. So just like in my organization, when they bring me on a 3-way call, I'm just the kind of information provider. And then they communicate and they have their conversation afterwards, right? And that's truly what I would say to any brand new agent. It doesn't even matter if you don't know anything about real estate. You'll learn while you're listening on mute. That's how you'll learn about real estate. That's what I would say.
Love it, love it. I mean, I couldn't have said it no better than what you just laid out. Honestly,
Thank you.
I can't tell you how many 3-way calls I was on with Jay, Al, Michael.
Yeah.
I'm just listening, ear hustling, what I call it, just getting the information, learning the lingo, just so I can actually do this. So, Mona, it's been absolutely a pleasure. What you've been able to build, but at the same time, you're a great person, and what you're sharing is you're changing real estate agents' lives and the lives of other people all around the world. Like, think about it. Somebody that you reached out to is now going back to India to help some of the women there have some of the things that we take for granted, a lot of times. So that's
Absolutely.
that's freaking awesome. So
Thank you. Thank you so much.
once again, we do these every Thursday at 11 o'clock where we interview an agent that's killing it in order to provide value. If you want to know more about, anything real estate related, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Mona. If you want to know what partnering look like, definitely reach out to Mona. Definitely reach out to me. We're an open book, and at the end of the day, all we're doing is trying to help. So once again, appreciate you, Mona, and
Thank
I will see
you.
you at the next event.
Yes, 100%. Thank you so much.
All right.